Greetings, everyone. It's Friday, the 12th of November, 2021. We are ending this week in South Africa where there is a media hype, social media hype around anti migrant sentiments. Anti migrant sentiments has been trending on social media, be it WhatsApp groups, Facebook, Twitter, and other media platforms. So, we want to discuss briefly the contribution by social media in stoking anti-migrant sentiments in our communities. We saw the role of social media that it played in 2011 in the Arab Spring Revolution in North Africa. Young people used the social media to mobilize themselves. We saw also when a former president of the United States, Barack Obama, used the social media to campaign for his first term in office. Political commentators and scientists argued that social media helped Barack Obama to occupy White House. And it was said it was historic because he was the first black president in the United States of America. Social media is used as a tool to communicate. And what we have witnessed this past week, the ending week, is that what has been trending is anti-migrant sentiments on social media. But who is spreading this message or these messages on social media? Because our aim in discussing this, we do not want next week and the weeks following to have these anti-migrant sentiments dominating in the social media. In the main, or before we discuss in terms of who is spreading this, we have said in this platform, in other videos, that migration is a global phenomenon and that South Africa is doing its best under the ANC-led government to manage migration. We've spoken about the white paper on international migration. So we give credit to the ANC-led government for coming up with a policy paper to manage migration because it is a global phenomenon. And it is one of the few countries, South Africa, that has accommodated people of low skill and gave them different permits, be it Zimbabweans, the people of Angola, the people of Lesotho. It has done well as a country in Africa, where most countries have not done so. And it is guided by Pan-Africanism. So we credit South Africa for coming up with a policy of managing migration. But today, we are not talking about how migration must be managed, but we want to focus on social media. It is also important when we talk of anti-migration sentiments to understand the people behind it. And the anti-media sentiments are not different from the ethnic questions or ethnic wars that we have seen across the continent, tribal wars. You will agree with us that in the main, ethnic divisions in the continent are caused by politicians. It is politicians that planned and executed the genocide in Zimbabwe between 1983 to 1987 called Kukurahundi. It was not ordinary citizens. It's politicians who planned and executed it. It is politicians who planned and executed a genocide in Rwanda in 1994. It is politicians that continue with these ethnic divisions across the continent. Kenya is going to elections next year in 2022. And we've always said that elections in Kenya are justified by an ethnic consensus or an ethnic census. People are mobilized around their ethnicity, not mobilized around their capability. We've seen it in South Africa at a low scale, though it was dominating during the apartheid regime when homelands were created to push Africans into different ethnic groups or into to be put in different places along ethnic groups. That was the whole concept of the homelands. So it's politicians in their bid to attain political power or to use votes. Across Africa, they've used the question of ethnicity. In Zimbabwe, in Zambia, in Kenya, in Ethiopia, across the continent. And it is politicians who also use or spread anti-migrant, what we call the anti-migrant brigade or anti-migrant crusade, as we're observing it. Because in general, ordinary South Africans over the years have lived side by side with people from different countries. It is ordinary South Africans that have opened their premises for Pakistanis to rent out shops, which we call spaza shops. South Africans, ordinary South Africans, have no problem over the years in living side by side with the migrants. But when politicians do not deliver or want to win political office, they use these anti-migrant sentiments to win votes. And we have seen in the just ended election in South Africa. But what is of concern, though, is those that then spread these messages, be it on WhatsApp groups, Facebook, Twitter, and other media, social media platforms. And in the main, the people that spread and make them trend are migrants themselves. Whether it is out of fear or whatever the reasons, in analyzing social media this week, we've been going through various WhatsApp groups, checking on various Facebook accounts, on Twitter. You will realize that it is migrants in the main that spread these messages to an extent that you now have certainly an anti-migrant crusade or anti-migrant messages trading. So if you are in one WhatsApp group, then there's a flyer which is calling for people to march against the migrants. You then share to your other 50 WhatsApp groups that you belong to. It basically trend. I spent years in the media department, communications, and what we have been taught in the media is that there is nothing called bad publicity. Every publicity is good. Publicity is not bad. Doesn't matter. It's not about the content. So if you spread, if say Some people produce a flyer that they are going to gather, blah, 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 at a certain area. You then share. You want to share with your friends. Did you hear this is what is happening? Did you hear this is what is happening? Did you hear this is happening? It spreads like wildfire. And the ordinary South Africans, we had no issue with the migrants because we have been spreading it. They begin to say, wait a minute, why are we getting all these messages? It therefore means as South Africans, we must now act. And they see it as a call to be mobilized to act. Simply because we are spreading these messages. So it is problematic to spread messages. And our simple call to you is that if you are a migrant, if you are a progressive South African, you should not be spreading on WhatsApp messages any messages. We have our own Zimbabwe community chat groups, Zimbabwean community chat groups. In every community we have WhatsApp groups. You will find these messages are now spreading in our own chat groups. And you ask ourselves, but why is this happening? So if you spread one single message, you are basically mobilizing the entire society to begin to say, let's have a conversation about this thing. As I've started by saying, that South African government, as led by the African National Congress, is doing its best in managing migration. Yes, there might be weaknesses there. Yes, we understand. And they clearly understand. I've seen some comrades who come to my YouTube channel use vulgar language telling us to say, go back, pack your bags, and they will say, so here. We understand. And we understand that unemployment is getting high in South Africa. And we understand that the economic cake cannot be shared by the whole of Africa in South Africa. That we understand. But what we are saying is, all of us, we must work together in managing migration. This is why, as the Zimbabwe community in South Africa, we participated when we're asked to participate in the drafting of the white paper on international migration as gazetted in 2017. We started in 2015 when it was a green paper, because it was our responsibility to participate. The African Diaspora Forum, the organization that we belong to, participated, and it continues to participate in ensuring that we manage migration. Because the African Diaspora Forum, in its view, well-considered view, is that it clearly understands sentiments that are raised by young people in South Africa who are not working. This is why the African Diaspora Forum and its affiliates has come up with what it calls skills transfer. Be it in running shows, spaza shops, be it whether motor mechanic, whatever skill, that is in the hands of the migrant community. The African Diaspora Forum understands this, and it says it is the duty of all communities that affiliate to the African Diaspora Forum to work in communities in sharing skills. We've been meeting with the councillors from different wards in South Africa just before the lockdown, and we'd agreed that we're going to roll out a program which involves the migrant communities who have skills and the South Africans, so that we share these skills. And this is done because there's a clear understanding that there are genuine concerns by South Africans, and that these genuine concerns must be attended to. There is genuine concerns that every migrant who is in South Africa must be documented. This is why the white paper on international migration, as gazetted in 2017, speaks of managing migration and proposes how migration should be managed. And the African Diaspora Forum has been calling for the implementation of the white paper on international migration as part of managing migration. So we are at a position where we clearly understand the concerns. But what we do not want to see is people fighting in the streets. What we do not want to see is for us to continue on social media circulating anti-migrant sentiments. There are good things that have been done by the migrant community in South Africa. Many good things, which of course we take the blame that we probably have not been highlighting to say migrants, this is how they contribute in the South African economy. The other day, this week, we gave figures on the trade between South Africa and the member states within the SADC region. We have not done a study on the contribution of migrants in terms of taxes that they pay to the South African government. We have not done so. We have not done a study on the businesses run by migrants and how many South Africans they are employing. We take the blame. And going forward, we want to work with the business migrant communities in bringing all this to the fore. Because the few leaders, as I've said, that anti-migrant sentiments are generated by leaders who want votes. The few leaders who are using anti-migrant sentiments to stop violence will not talk about the contributions that migrants are making in the economy, in universities as academics, in the medical field as medical practitioners, as engineers. They will not tell you how many migrants work as engineers in ESCOM. We also take the blame because we are not profiling this. We also take the blame that we have not spoken about artisans from the rest of the continent who contribute in the South African economy. Whether they work for Johannesburg City Power or other or state-owned entities or private companies, we have not been profiling those. So there must be a distinction between those that are problematic, whether they are pushing drugs, whether they are involved in criminal activity. And as the African Diaspora Forum, the Zimbabwe community, we have taken a stand, we have held in the past, before lockdown, anti-migrant, not anti-migrant, but we have held anti-crime summits and committed ourselves in working with communities to isolate criminals. So if we are to have dialogue around migrants, the presence of migrants, their contributions, or the burden that they bring to South Africa, we must have this dialogue. We should not be scared to dialogue. If migrants are a burden, we must engage on it. But what we are saying, let us not be the ones spreading anti-migrants messages in social media. It cannot be correct that as we close the week, is the 12th of November. Today is a Friday. As we go for weekend, we are the ones either in the migrant community or progressive forces that are spreading these anti-migrant messages on social media and they're causing alarm and despondence. Someone just rise from the comfort of their bedroom, designs a flyer, migrants must go, let's meet there and there, such a place, and we are the ones who will be busy distributing. I am Ngabuto Nicholas Mabena, the chairman of the Zimbabwe community in South Africa, an executive member of the African Diaspora Forum, general secretary of the Zimbabwe Communist Party. Please like the video, circulate, subscribe, write your comments. Let's have a conversation about this. But remember, if you spread an anti-migrant sentiment on any social media platform, you are not different from a person who hates migrants. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.